Show that she got it, just do better.
Good evening, Amogh. Your team lost last week with score of 94 to 111 to Chasing Identity. You go to 1-3. So
Mhm.
first question, 2 weeks ago we saw your team put up a league high 152 points. Since then, we've seen two mediocre performances resulting in two losses. Who do you have to blame for your inconsistencies?
Well, thank you for this interview. It's great to be here. Um, I am a little bit disappointed with how my team has been playing. I think the biggest factors in that are the loss of Tua in Miami, and that has been absolutely critical in the fall off of Devon Achan. I mean, 23, 22, 20, 23, 29 when he was there at quarterback. And the next 2 weeks, he has had 8.8 and 5.9 points. That one, that was unfortunate because Tua big gun was unexpected. The one that's kind of shocked me is Zay Flowers. I thought he was going to be phenomenal this year, especially for my average depth of pick for him. But I picked him at 43. I thought he would be a top 10 receiver based on how he finished last year and how he played with Lamar Jackson. But I think the addition of Derrick Henry, which you have been just riding that way for the past couple of weeks, has really limited the amount that Lamar's throwing the football, at least to his wide receivers. He's been running it through Derrick Henry himself, and then he threw it off to Justice Hill a bunch last week or yesterday um, to get some wins. So those two players have really let me down. Another one who I've been let down with by since week one has been Evan Ingram, who I drafted relatively early and has still not played since injuring himself after that first week where he had a terrible performance of one catch for 5 yards. Same thing for Bijan Robinson, who every week is projected 17, 18, and has yet to go over 16.3 points. And for the past 2 weeks has been RB an RB5, RB3 or four, and averaging 12 points a week. So I think just all around the board, I'm seeing low numbers. I'm liking. Well, I guess yeah. That's to answer that one. Yes, it's just all around. I think I'm seeing subpar play from every position, which is just bringing my total down significantly.
Yeah, so like after week two, you were one of the most feared teams in the league for sure. Like nobody wanted to play you just because of
Mhm.
your upside. And
Yeah.
one player that screams upside is Devon Achan, who's struggled these last 2 weeks, partly because of his QB play.
Mhm.
But you do go to 1-3, and you may need to like look for players to win now. And is Devon Achan on the trade block moving forward?
He is absolutely on the trade block. I actually had a couple conversations with some other members earlier today on potentially moving him. Um, so at this point, I think I am not going to panic quite yet because it's 4 weeks, which is we're relatively good. We're making a good chunk of the season over, but I won't start panicking until next week. So it's in my best interest to make as many moves as I can right now to try to catapult myself to that winning position. But yes, Achan is on the table. Robinson's on all of my running backs are on the table. If I can get something good out of it, so I'm in a state now where I want to make a big move in order to save my season.
Two players that have done pretty well, for where you drafted are J.K. Dobbins and Brian Robinson Jr. You
Mhm.
only have to start one of them just because of, I mean, unless you let go of Bijan or HN, you may have to start only one of them moving forward. You know who you're deciding to go with moving forward?
Yeah, I think by far it's going to be Brian Robinson Jr. He has been phenomenal. I actually was able to watch the Arizona game last week and just seeing him take the ball and run it the way he does that style was really nice to see. Um, J.K. Dobbins has had a little bit of a downtrend since those first 2 weeks. Also, he's also fallen off 8.4, 9.2 points the past 2 weeks. I'd probably put that up to okay. They played some pretty good teams, pretty good defenses in Pittsburgh and Kansas City. But I'm hoping that in the bye week, J.K. Dobbins will get more play, and I would not be opposed to benching, Bijan Robinson or benching who's my other running back, Bijan Robinson or Achan, if that means I get the win. Like just because they have the big name, if they aren't producing, I will bench them for a matchup based play.
All right, and last question. No, you play Sam next week, Christian Crusaders. They've
Yes.
been struggling heavily, partly because they drafted Christian McCaffrey and they have
Yeah.
nobody else. I just want to get your thoughts on your opponent next week.
I don't want to, this is one of those trap games. Okay. It's one where if I lose this, I could end up, being in the competition for last. This is a game where you expect to go and you expect to win. you can't let your guard down. I don't want to say too much on it because I don't want to jinx it, but I'm going into this week. I feel pretty good just based on the matchup. However, I do not want to say this will be an easy win until I see the last score. Because the same thing happened with TJ's team last week. I was up big. I saw Jaden Daniels rush in for a touchdown, and it was like 73% chance. All right, I'm set. Good game. Then the next day comes, and H-Ham lays an egg, and I end up losing. So I don't want to speak too much. I don't want to bring any negative aura in, but I'm looking forward to this week. It should hopefully be a bounce back week.
All right, those are all the questions. We have nobody else on the conference, unfortunately. But
That's fine. That's fine.
you brought you brought a great show for sure. So
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank
so
you.
thank you for being on here. It's always a pleasure having you on.
Thank you. It's always great to have you. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, you can.
So I was looking at you put up. Was that the new league high? Is that did you just?
I don't know if I don't know if it's like the league history high, but I think it's been like the highest in the past few years.
Jeez, that's really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have a really good team right now with Jordan Mason. Was that a waiver wire pickup?
Yeah, it was. I drafted
Okay, it
Elijah
was a waiver wire
Mitchell.
pickup.
I drafted Elijah Mitchell,
okay,
then dropped Mitchell for Mason.
Yeah, okay, I gotcha. Yeah, so you have three wide receiver ones on your team: C.D. Lamb, Debo
Yeah.
Samuel, and Drake London, and then
Yeah.
Derrick Henry was popped off.
Yeah.
How do you feel going into next week after you're on a 2-0 streak, right? You started 0-2, you're now 2-2. How do you feel?
Like, I'm the type of guy where it's like, I don't think my team is obviously very good. They dropped 184 points, but I think that there's something more in the tank. Like, I think I can see something more. I think I can see more from Drake London. I think I can see more from Najee Harris. I know I haven't played him all year, but it's a contract year, and I'm hoping something will, something will happen with him. And looking to make some moves to make my team better, of course. I'm only 2-2. Like, I'm not in a position where I can just like trade for the future. Like, I'm not in a position where I know I'm going to make the playoffs.
Right.
And last year, 2 years ago, Unkit dropped 180 in a week, and next week he dropped 57 and ended up getting last place. So
that's true. That is
you can't really say just because of 1 week,
that's fair.
I'm like the favorite or whatever. I'm looking for, like, I have a matchup against Keisha. He's been struggling, but it's fantasy football. Anything can happen. Like 2 weeks ago when I played Vermont, like I thought I was going to lose. His team was like phenomenal, and I ended up beating him. So who knows what's going to happen moving forward?
Okay, that's very cool. Do you plan on making any big trades here in the near future? Or are you
I'm going to answer that question tomorrow because my interview is tomorrow.
Oh, you're interviewing this week too. Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay, I got you.
But
okay,
we'll see what I do. I mean, I want to improve my team. So we'll see.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, Kirk, you got any questions? We're almost done.
For Amogh?
Yeah.
Nice helmet, Kirk. I like that helmet.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. And then look at his team.
We can't hear you. Well, I can't hear you.
Yeah, it's like you're a little muffled. You're a little muffled. I think you're covering your mic.
Can you hear me now?
I think it's because of your helmet. Like,
hello, bro.
Right.
Hello.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
What's up, boy? Okay. How are you feeling about a Cheney, like in general?
A Cheney?
Like, I know last year he was some hot fucking shit. Okay, you had Moser and the Cheney going off for like 20, 30 points.
Yes.
Explain your, what you're feeling past 2 weeks.
Sure, Kirk. Sure. With regards to H80, I think it's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate what happened to him. Well, okay, what happened to Tua is very unfortunate. That's the unfortunate part is Tua got that terrible injury, and that has just led to the downfall of H-Hand. He has had no quarterback. Everyone's just going to load the box and not let him run. I mean, he's had 11 carries, 30 yards, and 10 carries for 15 yards. That's just horrendous. Like that is not good. And you figured maybe with a quarterback who is unsure they'd be dumping the ball off every play, but that's not the case. He's not getting any yards. He's getting 3 targets. He's getting 5 and 3 targets for the past 2 weeks. When in 2 weeks before that, He had 7 targets. So there's no PPR play coming in either to save his fantasy value. So it's been a very unfortunate turnaround for him, and he is available on the trade block.
Oh, I might be reaching out for that. Other question is about T Higgins. Thoughts on T Higgins? 4 weeks in.
Well, yeah, I'm glad he finally played. I got to watch him play. I usually don't watch him because I only watch the Bengals. But seeing him against the Panthers was very promising. I mean, he had 10 targets, which was really nice to see. 6 catches for 60 yards. I think he's a solid wide receiver too. We'll see if I may end up playing him this week. He's great. He's also on the trade block because I still have faith in Zay Flowers. I think Zay Flowers will show up, but he is also available for trade. I think he's a good backup in case Zay doesn't keep committing or does not keep producing. But as of now, he's going to ride the bench, I think.
Ravant.
So, Amogh, I got to ask you about your quarterback, probably like the most valuable player on your team right now, Jaden Daniels. Like prior to the draft, like he was like a really polarizing player. Like a lot of people either like they loved him or they hated him. Obviously at LSU he was a Heisman and he did great in college, but people were unsure about if they would transfer to the NFL. And right now he's I think like the number 1 quarterback, I think PPR in fantasy.
Yes.
So I kind of just wanted to get to know was that a target that you wanted to get him, or was that someone kind of fell into your lap? Yeah, how did you go about drafting him?
That is a great question, and it was an accident. It was actually an accident. I panicked. So draft night, remember Joseph was drafting right before me, or right after me rather. He was drafting right after me. And I was looking through my players, and I was like, shoot, I need a quarterback. But I also saw a couple other big names. I don't remember who it was. But I was looking. I think it may have actually been Brian Robinson Jr. I was looking through players, and I wanted to get no, it wasn't Brian Robinson. I wanted to get a quarterback that round, and I panicked, and I did not get the quarterback. And I knew by the time the draft went back up to me, the quarterback I wanted, who was Jordan Love, would have been picked. So I missed the quarterback, and then the next pick, Joseph took Jordan Love. So by the time it got back up to me, it was slim pickings for quarterbacks. So I was like, it's either go rookie, right, go big with a rookie who has boom bust potential, or get someone who I know for a fact is an established QB2. So that's how I picked Jane Daniels at 91 overall, I think, or 76 overall, or 91st, because it just happened to go that way. But I'm great. I'm glad that it went that way because he's been the one of the couple bright spots over the past few weeks on my team.
All right. Does anyone have any more questions? All right. Thanks again, Amogh. I thought we already wrapped this up, but we went on for like another 10 minutes. But it's fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
Thank you for being on
this
here.
Together.
Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you guys for asking the questions.
Yeah. Thank you guys for showing up.
Happy to.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. Thank you, Amogh.
Thanks.